Igniting community, a safe space to learn, share, and grow. Don't forget to like and subscribe below.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ignite in Community YouTube channel. My name is Codi Chen. I'm the co-creator of Heartworks Writing, and I am talking all about immersing yourself in writing. This is the second episode, so if you didn't catch the first one, that's all about personal writing, and you can totally check that out. Today, we're going to talk about one of my very favorite topics, which is how to write your book, at least how to start writing your book. So first, I want to remind you that art is subjective. It's going to land with some people, it's not going to land with some people, and it is okay. In the words of Elizabeth Gilbert, who is an author I really enjoy, go make your own effing art. So with that being said, there is no right or wrong way to create your book or how to get started, but sometimes it can feel super overwhelming, and so I'm here to make that a little bit easier for you. First, I want to start off with some industry standards and how to set goals for yourself. When we're not a writer or a professional writer, sometimes what makes sense is pages. I want to get X amount of pages written per day. But let me let you know that an industry standard page for a book is 250 words. But if you're writing on your computer and it's single spaced in one document, you're going to write more than 250 words per page. So the best way or the easiest way that we typically go about it is talking about word count. How many words? So if you're wanting to write a fictional book, and fiction is made up stories not based on real events or real people, the industry standard is between 60,000 and 110,000 words per book. So you have some good wiggle room in there. For nonfiction and memoirs, something that is based on true events and true people, the industry standard is between 50,000 and 90,000 words. So sometimes that can seem pretty overwhelming. Like if you have a goal, let's say of 80,000 words, that seems like a lot, and it seems like, how could I ever get that done? But let me tell you, when you break it down into goals, and if you have a daily word count goal, if you have a goal to, let's say, finish the first draft of your novel within 6 months, and you want to hit 80,000 words, if you break that down, it can end up being 476 words approximately per day of that 6 months. That sounds a lot more doable than going on and trying to do 80,000 and trying to knock out 10,000 in a day or something ridiculous like that, which is not impossible, but it's difficult, especially if this is something you're really just doing on the side. So I want to also say that in your first draft, before you start writing, keep this in your mind. You do not want to go back and edit your work, and that is difficult for a lot of us. It almost seems counterproductive. But I'm telling you, you're going to waste a lot of time. There's already designated time for editing of your first draft. This is not that time. What tends to be most important is words on page, word count. That is what is important. You don't need to worry about making these beautiful sentences or using the, very perfect correct word to describe the setting, the character, anything like that. Use the first words that come to your head and just quickly go through them. It sounds tough, and I know that gives some people anxiety, but what you're going to end up doing if you keep editing, you're going to end up with a really awesome first chapter or a really awesome first page. And that is all you are going to end up with, because you're going to spend all of your time doing that, and that is a waste of time, and no one wants that. So resist the urge to edit and make everything sound amazing and fancy the first time, because you're already going to have that designated time once you are finished and you've hit your word count goal, or at least you feel like your story is completely done. So the first suggestion I have is, without doing an outline, if an outline feels stressful to you, if it doesn't feel natural, if it doesn't feel good, you're just so eager to sit down and write, sit down and write. Just sit down and start. You're probably going to end up changing parts of it anyway. So if you have a scene in your head, start there. If you have a character, build out your character. Any of that is good to go. and you can totally just start writing your novel. Chapter 1, start in the middle. You're not really sure yet. You just kind of want to see how it all develops. That's excellent. And I totally encourage you to do that. If that feels a little too free-flowing for you, unstructured, kind of gives you anxiety, then there's different ways that you can do outlines, and you can get as really detailed in the outline as you want or not. So the first one, if you want to do kind of a pre-outline, this is mostly like a mind dump. What is in your brain? What is the character that has developed in your head that you continue to think about? Or what is the plot line? Whatever you have been ruminating on and the things that have been really circling in your mind, I want you to get out a piece of paper or get out your laptop and write all of it down. This way, it's not super structured, but a lot of the stuff that you want to hit on, the things that have really been like pounding in your brain, you are going to want to get those out. And that's a totally good place to start. And then you just develop from there. I would sit there and talk about hitting these things: characters, plot line, the plot twist, and the setting. These are things that you're going to want to hit. And when you want to create like a full outline, these are really things that you're going to want to define and outline for yourself. So we have a memoir mindset series coming up starting January 6th with our company, Heartworks Writing. Super excited about it. And we actually provide an outline for you to go in and fill it, and we can help you out, get as detailed or as not as you want. We meet you where you are. So we're really excited about that. So you want to outline the main theme or plot of the book. So starting the beginning of the book, the middle of the book, and then the end of the book. If you have rough ideas of what that looks like, go ahead and write them down. You also want to build out character profiles. When you read a book, the people and the things that you really connect to most with are your characters, or are the characters that you're reading about. People really fall in love with the characters, not necessarily the plot line, even though that can be great. But if you have just kind of flat characters, then your story's really not going to go anywhere and progress the way that you really want it to. So some things to think about when it comes to building out your characters. What situation is the main character in? How is their objective, or what is their objective throughout their book? What is their goal from start to finish? What does it mean for that main character to grow? How do they start off with at the beginning of the book? What are some things that they learn towards the middle? And then how do they turn into this person or character, for good or for bad, at the end of your book? What does your character want? What happens when your character doesn't get what they want, or when they face obstacles on the way to forging their own path, getting what they want? What is the opposing force that's stopping them from getting what they want? And then think about some positive traits for your character, but not just that. Think about the negative traits of your character. You want to make these human, especially if you're doing fiction. So if you're writing and creating a character from scratch, think about the positive and think about the negative. No one wants to read a perfect person. That also super goes when you're writing your own personal stories. People don't want to read how you are perfect, because you're not perfect. No one is perfect, and we all know this. So do some soul searching. Think about the things that maybe aren't the best traits that you have, but they are also traits that make you fully human. You can also apply those to all of your fictional characters as well. The next thing that you really want to do is set out your setting. Where does this take place? Are you writing a historical fiction novel that takes place in 17th century Nairobi, or whatever it was back in those days? Is it something that's happening current, and you want to write about your own personal life and your own personal stories in your own hometown or the places that you've traveled to? Take some time to build out those scenes. Like I said, characters tend to be the most important, but if we don't know where you are, if the setting really is not matching what's going on, or it's not historically accurate or relevant, then it gets, people have a hard time believing what's actually in your story. So we want to focus on plot outline, character development, and setting. But the main point that I want to hone in on is your book will not be written if you don't sit down and write it. So whether you want to go down and create this big, bold, beautiful outline that has all the details that you could possibly think of, and then you follow that as you're creating the rest of your story, that's amazing. Or if you want to sit down with a blank page and just start, that's awesome as well. Remember, don't edit your stuff. And remember, we're all going to have doubts about, is this even good? Is anyone going to want to read this? What we tend to want to do then is share our ideas with people. And I would just caution you to take pause for a moment. Sometimes the people that we really love and trust and hope are going to be our cheerleaders end up not really being our cheerleaders. Don't let someone else crush this dream in your head of writing a book. You can totally do it. Find a support system, join different writing groups online. You are always welcome in our community with Heartworks Writing. Feel free to send me a message. You can find me on social at Codi Elizabeth and our company at Heartworks Writing. I would love to see you. And if you're interested in our Memoir Mindset series, you can follow us and get more information and sign up at www.heartworksw.com. Thanks again so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here. And again, if you could give us a like and a subscribe, that would be amazing. Have a beautiful day and Happy New Year.